I
Right.
got it.
All right. So super appreciative of you being here. Um, you're somebody who I have seen work more than I have built. Our relationship started from as a working relationship. I only saw Heather because she was working. Okay, that was it. Like there was never a formal introduction. There was never a, hey, Heather should reach out to Dom. And no, 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 no. It was Dom saw her working her ass off and I didn't know how to do telesales. So just to be real with you, you guys be like, oh, dude, dude, I didn't know how to do telesales 2 years ago. She was already making that transition. She was already going through a lot of the downs in this shit to help guys like me and Bryce figure out, dude, all right, dude, don't step there. All right. Yep, we got to increase our lead flow. Yep, we got to sit down on the phone. Yep, it's very important that we're, like we have to give them our information. A lot of that came from role models like Heather. And I think as you're in this business, you can get to a point to where you stop learning. And I got there. Well, it was by choice. I chose to stop learning. And then I saw people like Heather lighting this damn thing up. And I said, I know she started much after you, but I think you should listen to what she's got going on. I think you should listen to what they got going on. So I turned into a student again at the beginning of 2024. 23, 20, from 2020 to 2023, you couldn't have taught me shit about sales. I would have been like, dude, I got that. Stop. All right, I hear that works for you, but I'm good. But when I got into telesales, dude, I had to be open again. Bryce, you know what I mean? Like I had to be open again. And it's thanks to people like you making that change and leading the way and not bitching, moaning, complaining about the way it used to be. Who cares? This is the way it is now. Makes sense? So thank you, Heather. Real talk.
Well,
That's from my,
I
okay?
want to thank you because I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because you don't know this. So I'm gonna reverse that because what Dom doesn't know was the first time I went to convention, which if you guys plan on being in the business next year, then you should already have your convention tickets bought. Like you're crazy not to. I'm gonna put it out there and say you're actually dumb not to. Okay. I know you're probably gonna, a lot of you are gonna hate me for a lot of what I say, and that's fine. You won't last in the business anyway. Right? And what I'm going to tell you that is when I first went to convention, I met or I saw Dom. And what he doesn't know is I watched him, not because I ever thought I could be like him, but because I knew he knew what his stuff was. I could tell his confidence level. And also, if you notice what I just said, that confidence level that I've gained is because of you, Dom. I never would have been able to say that type of thing to a group of people that I don't know. I barely know any of you. And I just called you dumb because it's true, right? But I only gained that confidence level through Dom, right? So you guys are extremely lucky to have him, Bryce, Red, all the people who help you. You are in such amazing hands. So thank you for what you've done for me, and for having me on today.
Well, absolutely, Heather. Speaking on those affirmations,
Mhm.
okay? This is a room full of, we have some folks that just eclipse their, getting close to about a year in here, right? They're starting to see back end money and things like that. But a good 70% here are within their first 90 days. Some of them just getting started, okay? To those agents, or maybe the agent who's just been, what do you say? How impactful have those affirmations been for you? And have you always incorporated those into your life and or business?
I'm actually gonna be honest and say I have not. But when I started, it made me think differently. And as soon as you start thinking that you are a multimillionaire, and yes, that's one of mine, I'm not yet, but it makes me feel like I am, right? And if you think you are, and if you think I am an owner of 5 properties, these are mine, guys. Hear me out here. I don't have 5 properties, but I will, right? I will
Mm.
because I'm going to work to do it because I said I am. Right, I am going to do that. I'm going to have property in Maine. I'm going to have a property in Alaska. I'm going to have a property in Virginia Beach, which is where I am right now. Ooh, look at that, getting closer, right? You have to say these things. I am a killer. I kick ass. Like whatever you say to yourself, you will live it. And then sometimes your affirmations go on the wayside. Maybe it's a one you don't like anymore. That's okay. You have a new one, right?
That's
And it
right.
helps you to actually think about what you want and how you're going to get there. So I 100%. And where do I learn these things? Through the calls, through conventions, through lock-ins, everything. You learn everything in little steps along the way to get there. You have to have them.
Heather, give me a couple rapid fire. Like how long you been in the business?
Only 3.5
3 years.
years.
Okay. Year one, first full 12 months. What did that look like for you? Income,
Oh,
net.
well, I had year one, full year. Um, I did 360 that year, but I worked hard, hard. I was on at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then I was off at maybe 10 every night because I had to. I saw people on that stage, and this is true, guys. Like the first 6 months of what I didn't do enough. Like I didn't know what was available. So that second year, the full year, that's when I realized what I had capability of doing. Because if somebody else did it, I could do it. Like that was just not a thing. Like if
So
Sean can be
somebody's
a
hearing that.
multimillionaire, so can I.
Somebody's hearing like you're going, yeah, I did 360 something, and somebody on here is going like, why isn't she more excited? Like,
Because I
why would
didn't hit 400,000.
what does that mean though? What were you making previous?
Oh, guys, I was just I let me start from the beginning, if that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So all growing up, I dealt with children. I owned my own daycare, which was an at-home daycare. Maximum made like 45,000 a year. Maximum. Owning my own business, working for myself. Then I decided to go become a teacher, thinking I needed to do something different, get out of the house, whatever. Well, that was a flop. I hated working for somebody. I even decided to take my kids out of school and start homeschooling them. I couldn't even be in the school system anymore. I did that for 3 years. Then I just started to work on online, just kind of this is where kind of my whole I'm comfortable with the computer. You are probably not. A lot of you probably aren't, right? But I was teaching children on the computer English to children all the way in China. And I did that for 3 years. That job got kind of cut when COVID came and China's relationships with America was like, nope, no American teachers. So then I started door dashing. I was so excited because it was $25 an hour. And a lot of you are probably coming from something that $25, $30 an hour is decent. So I was all right with that, but I was also 46 and I was like, I cannot do this the rest of my life. I couldn't imagine myself door dashing the rest of my life. Moved across the country, found a friend of mine who told me to go ahead and get licensed, gave me the link that you all got my license in 5 days, studying 3 hours a day. That was it. And then that first year, I didn't do much until May of that first year because we were moving, we got married, all this other stuff. Finally, I was like, okay, I really need to do something or else, door dashing. I couldn't really teach in Texas because then I'd have to get a new, certificate. It was like weird. And I hung on to door dashing. I did keep it and I did it a little bit. I went to Ignite the following year
Hmm.
in that fall, and I even DoorDash there for the very last time because I said to myself, I can make $25 an hour doing this, or I can sit my ass in that hotel and dial and make 1,000. Am I an idiot? Right? So that was my last time door dashing was actually in Las Vegas because
Wow.
of Ignite. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And thank you for giving that point of reference. Why was it so important though to hit Hall of Fame your first year? Like what was that about? And that's some other thing I want to talk about. What was that about? Like you made more money
Well,
than you ever had, okay?
yeah.
But you felt, man, I could do more. Like
Yeah, so
where'd
when
that
I
come
made
from?
so that first half year I made 70,000, which I was excited for because it was more than I had ever made that half a year. But then I went to convention and I saw people walking across the stage at 400,000. And that's
Ah,
when I was like, hmm, interesting. I can do this. But what happened was I didn't know how yet. I wasn't good at it yet. I didn't have the skill level, which you get with activity, right? That's what you're gonna suck at what you do first. Just get it over with, get it in your head. I suck at this. I don't care if you're coming from another company. I don't care if you're coming with experience, or if I don't care if you're coming without experience. You're gonna suck at what you do because we have a system. Our system's proven. So you've got to fix that. You've got to get better at it. And that's going to take some time. I mean, some people, if they follow the system, then they get in really quick and do well fast. I didn't. I didn't follow this. I didn't have a system to follow. Nobody was telesales, right? Not on my team, right? So, I saw people walk across that stage getting a red jacket, and it was totally attainable. Everybody kept saying, you everybody can do this. And if somebody tells me I can do something, I'll do it. If somebody tells me I can't do something, I still do it because nobody can tell me what to do. And that's kind of the determination you all need, right? Um, you need to know that this is not something. What does Sean say, Dom, all the time? You don't need a skill, right? You you learn how to do this. Everybody can do it, but not everybody will. That's 100% truth. And so I walked across, I watched people walk across a straight stage. I still didn't know how to figure out how to get across that stage. Like I didn't know the numbers yet. I didn't know my activity. I didn't know any of those things yet. You guys have that. We have answers for you. We can't tell you when to work or how many hours to put in, but we can tell you it's going to be dependent on how strong you are to do that. So I was pushing really hard that year because my skill level sucked to get to 400,000. And my
can
goal was, yep, go ahead.
can you give us, well, see, 300 some thousand, and she goes, my skill sucked. I was talking to somebody earlier today and they asked me, what's the close ratio for agents? I said, bro, that's a loaded question. I know people who suck and make a $500,000 relative to their close ratio, right? So to walk us through what that meant, because some folks are walking here thinking they got to be closing 60, 70, 80% of the people they talk to. What did
Oh, I
suck
don't I don't
mean for
even do
you?
that.
And how did you compensate? What did you like I can hear the work compensated for it, but walk us through what that looked like. If, did you have 0 days? Was it, like what did all that look like when you sucked and still were profitable?
I've always had, because people tell me you have to have goals.
Okay.
And so when I sucked at it, I had to hit my goals no matter what. So I did have to work more. And by work, what does that mean? Activity, right? You have to put in your activity and you might have to do more if you haven't hit your goals or if you're not where you want to be yet. And that's what it was. It was simply putting more work. I was working so many hours and I wasn't frustrated by it because I knew where I wanted to go. Because that's hard too, right? If you're not putting in the hours or if you are putting in the hours and you still have days my this is a fun fact about me. 59 appointments with no sales. 59. That's a lot of freaking appointments. 59 in a row is my number for no appointments. I mean no sales. So that was hard mentality wise. So I've always have goals. I still to this day, everybody knows I have a dial tracker. And I'm assuming this isn't going to stop because if this stops, then my activity stops. I track every bit of activity I do. And if I don't hit my activity goals, I have to make up for it the next day. I still do that.
Mm,
So like, and my family knows that. Everybody knows that about me. But that's where I've gotten my success from is putting in the activity. So don't try to trick me and say, "Oh, I put in the act." Let me see it. You think you put in the activity, but I know you don't because we can trick our brains highly when we're talking about activity.
that's real. That is real. How many hours a week were you working? Do you work? Is it the same? What's that look like?
Nah, it's a lot different now, of course, because my skill level's better.
Okay. So
If
look, to
I,
that point there, look, check this out, you guys. I remember when I was selling full time when I started, okay? What it would take Sean to do to write $10,000, I had to do twice of that. And I saw people always comparing themselves to top producers. Well, Rami said he does this. You understand he's better. Makes sense? It's like if I'm a rookie and I go into the NBA, well, I probably shouldn't be watching how LeBron does stuff. Make sense? It's LeBron. I should probably watch the guy who the second year guy right there who's fighting for a spot. Should probably watch him. LeBron got his spot. Make sense? Like, and I think when we get here, we think everybody's equal. And I'm like, that's disrespectful that you think that you can get my result with your work ethic.
right.
Make sense? That's crazy to me. So you have to know that, dude, if this person's saying they do this, double it up for yourself. The reason I kept up with Sean was because I always knew I was like, oh, dude, he's like, nah, you're at a different place than me. It's cool, but I'll get there. And by the way, you don't keep like there's only so much you can get better. So eventually you're going to be where everybody else is. Heather, she has people she was looking up to. Now she's right there with them because you can only get so good. Fair, makes sense. Like there's so much that you can get, but you have to understand that you're going to be here on your work, Devin, where Bryce may be here. I was talking to Bryce the other day about some of his numbers. I was like, bro, you're 5 years in. You're fucking killing it. Great job. Makes sense? Like that, right? Like that's it. But imagine if that activity was for no fucking way. No way. He's out of business. But he worked his ass off and learned a skill so that he could do that shit today with a newborn. And does that make sense? But you got to
That's the
get there.
beauty of this. That's the beauty of this.
Yes,
And
yes,
and I,
yes.
and you just said something so important because the first time, the second time I'm sorry, it was the second time, the second convention I went to, I kept hearing people say 3 to 5 years. Somebody would say it took them 3 years. Somebody would say 5 years, 3 years, 5 years. I kept hearing those numbers. And I said to myself, okay, if I can work this hard for 3 years, like I'm not young, but I'm not that old. I could be like in a good position. 3 years is nothing. 5 years. If you're a multimillionaire in 5 years, you can't get that anywhere else. You can't have a newborn or go to your daughter's house and go. I was able to take some time off today after 3 years, right? Like I took some time and did my daughter's getting married in October next year. I
Congratulations.
am so excited for this, guys, because freaking 3 years later, just as everybody told me a year ago, 2 years ago, sorry, that literally I would have all this financial freedom, I can pay for her freaking wedding without her asking me. I just did it. Like, I just paid for the cake, just sent her some Zelle. Like, that's awesome. And you can't do that door dashing. Like, if you do, that would be weird. I can't even imagine.
You be stealing somebody's cake. That's what you be doing.
That's right.
All right. You'd be like, oh, I want the Baskin Robbins. Oh, we gonna take this one to the house. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
car broke down. Sorry.
that's
Like,
crazy.
I mean,
So
and that's what motivated me was keep hearing 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. And you know what's weird is I didn't hear it the following year. And I'm going to kind of add this to say that the following year I needed to hear something different.
mm,
And it wasn't a time frame because I believed in the time frame. I knew in the time frame. The next year, last year, it was something different. It was about building. That's what I needed to hear. So if you're not going to these events, I know you guys are like, Heather, why do you always talk about them? Because it's so important. If you don't go to them, you're not going to hear what you need. And I heard what I need, and that I can pay for my daughter's wedding plus more. It's just incredible.
we got an Ignite conference coming up, right?
Guys better be there.
Why should everybody be here? The new agent who goes, man, I just got going. I'm gonna wait to the next one. Why shouldn't they say that?
I went to every single event, even as it was hard. Financially, it's hard. I went to events and my many up until about a year ago where every single one of my accounts was negative and I had a prayer. I prayed that I'm going to make this work. So I would, as soon as I knew about the event, I would take the money and I would put it into the ticket or whatever. And I didn't care if I had to pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I didn't care. I needed to go. And the reason I had to go was because every single time I went to any event, there was that something I needed, that was a nugget of information I got, and I implemented it and I saw growth in myself, eventually in my business. Remember, this is a business for you. You're not an individual. This is your business. So, but I changed something inside of me every single time I went. And that's just one little factor of going. Then I got to meet people like Dom, right? Now, he, like the first time I met him, of course, you get like starstruck by all these people. Like, remember that? Like, you get starstruck. Then it's like, they remember who you are. And you're like, well, shit, they remembered who I am. And I'm going to tell you something about Cancun because we just got back from Cancun, which was, does everybody know what that is, Dom?
They should. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay. So every, over the past couple of years, Sean has implemented these trips and they're producer trips. You produce a certain amount of whatever money, families helped, whatever you want to call it, and you qualified for a trip. And Family First Life actually pays for you and a plus one to go. You just have to get there. We've been on cruises. I've been on a couple of cruises and then Cancun, and I'll see you in Puerto Rico. Every one of you has the option and the ability to get to Puerto Rico. There's no reason why you can't. Where was I going with that shit?
What happened
Oh,
in Cancun?
I can't remember what I was talking about though. See, I am
Something
old.
happened in Cancun.
You're talking about
Something happened.
starstruck and like,
Oh, yeah, thank you. So what was funny was I remember the one Ignite that I went to that my husband came. This is pretty important too. This is family. He didn't believe in the system. I made him go with me. And this was the first one where I was like, I can do this. And we came home. That one Ignite, he was like, well, who do you want to talk to? And I'm like, I don't know who I want to talk to. I don't know what I'd ask them. I don't know what I'd say. And completely changed in just a short two years to where people were coming up to me, and that was so strange. I didn't feel worthy of that. Like people come up to you asking, and then you spend time answering, like, shoot, did I give them the right answer? Like, but then you're confident in yourself because you're like, well, and then Sean will tell you, he's like, you're right, $50,000 a month, Heather. You know what you're talking about, right? So, but
That's
then
him.
like you have to understand there's a progression here, and you are fully capable of it. There's 44 of us on here right now. That's incredible. You in the next 2 years will be a different person, and you're only going to learn how to be that person by going to meetings, by going to ignites, by going to lock-ins, by going to the conference in Dallas. That's why it's important. And then you get to meet people and they get to see you and they help you. They're willing to help you because you're there and they see you. At first I thought it was like, well, I don't want to be popular. I want to hide behind my screen. I don't want awards. But dang, it's a completely different story once you start getting them, not because you need awards. That's not it. It's because it makes you a better person. And remember, everything you go to, I had an agent say to me, well, I don't really want to go to I'm not looking to travel to Puerto Rico. I go, I don't care. You still just earned $250,000. Don't go to Puerto Rico then. Like, you still did the work to get there, right? And
Yeah,
by
anybody
that
who says
time,
I don't want to go to Puerto Rico and this says that's why I'm not doing it, I'm like, bro, you're missing the whole point. You're
yeah,
missing
right?
everything.
Like, duh, right? Like,
That's funny. Hey, I have a
why don't you quit now and just go working at Taco Bell? That's what I say.
that's
Just
real.
go work at
I
Taco
got a
Bell or
nacho donut and
DoorDash.
cinnamon
Yeah.
twists. Um, so Heather, I want you to give me the schedule, mindset, and lead flow of this producer. Okay, I'm going to give you a few different producers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So,
Wait, you're gonna have to remember, write down in the chat what I'm supposed to give you because I'll
all right.
forget.
Yeah. Okay. Schedule, mindset, lead, expense. There you go.
Thanks. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
All right.
Okay.
So sub $10,000. No, you know what? I'm not even gonna go zero. $5,000 to $10,000 a month. What's that agent's schedule, mindset, lead expense look like?
Okay. Your schedule it well, and this is somebody who actually wants to win, right? Because that's going
No,
to
no,
be
no. Just no. They say they want to win, but this is just real numbers, right? Like,
okay.
so you know, a lot of people go, "Yo, I'm doing 10,000, but dude, I'm working my ass off." Okay, and
Okay.
we've been there. I've been at 10,000 thinking I was working my ass off. I've been at 20
Right.
thinking I'm working my ass off. Right?
Right.
What's that real? If somebody who doesn't matter, everybody they're working, they're doing their thing, they're doing their deal. But if you had to guess what their lead spend, schedule, and mindset was, what would those three things be?
Okay. Your schedule is probably at 10,000, 5 to 10,000. You're
Yep.
really truly working only 4 to 5 hours a day. Truly working. Like really like dialing because you're not making the money at that point.
Okay.
Okay.
And is it 7 days? That's 7 days a week, or is that what's that
Oh,
like?
hell no. It's only five.
Let's talk about it.
Maximum.
That's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Maximum.
okay,
Maximum five. Then you
maximum
forget that
five,
you
probably
took a
four.
day off because your kids needed something. So it's really only four. You're not working a lot. You're working basically a part-time job, and that's still good for a part-time job, but that's whatever, $10,000, 5 to 10.
All right, so now let's
Mindset
talk.
is I think I'm doing everything. I'm
Here
doing
we go.
everything I can. I'm not doing anything wrong. Everything Dom tells me, he's wrong about that, by the way. Dom doesn't know what he's talking about. Bryce, yeah, no. He's never been through this before. That's mindset.
Okay. Now that's 5 to 10. That's $10,000 and below.
Wait, lead expense. Hold on, lead expense. See,
Yeah,
good
what's
thing
their
you wrote
lead?
it down. Lead expense. The person who's doing 5 to 10,000 with that kind of mindset and with that kind of schedule is actually only redialing every lead that they've been given, if they've been given leads, for weeks after one after another, or they're maybe putting in $100 to 200, maybe 300 per week. And even then, I don't think you are.
Hmm. Okay. Now let's jump to 15 to 20,000. All right, 10 to 20. 10 to 20. More 15, 20 though. What's that look like?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So for 20,000, and 20,000 is a pretty pivotal moment, guys, because you actually get a bonus at 20,000 issue paid. So it's really what you want to strive for to start. To start. 20,000, it's $650 bonus issue paid. You're now more locked in. You're probably doing 8 hours, 5 days a week. That's probably what you're doing. You think mindset that you don't need to work on the weekends. You're making excuses too at that point. You're probably making excuses for yourself because it's hard to get over that jump. So everything's an excuse there. And then your lead spend is probably about $500 a week at 20,000, depending on your skill level, of course.
Right. All right. Now let's talk 30 plus. Actually, no, 30 to 40, and then we'll do 40 plus, but 30 to 40, what's that person look like?
So a bit of knowledge for you guys, 34,000 every single month is Hall of Fame. It's also a bigger bonus. Bonuses are good in
What's that bonus? What's that bonus at 30?
uh I haven't hit it in a long time, so I forgot. I think it's
1,200.
1,200.
1,200? Okay.
I think, yeah. Um, so you're not only in a better mindset, right? Because now you're actually starting to make some. When you guys are at 15 or 20, you're struggling. It's actually a real struggle below 15. Financially, you're in a big struggle. And also you mess up your money situation if you're below 15. So if you're below 15 for too long, you get really frustrated. So now we're over 30, right? Over 30, there's two people. There's the person who doesn't put it back into their business and they go on a deep vacation, and then that's the last 30K month that they have.
I met those
Okay.
people. Got them. Yep.
But then there's a person who sees the value of it, and they're putting in probably 12, no, probably about 1,500 a week into leads. Telesales guys, there's two train of thoughts, and I don't know what you guys teach, but daily leads and then twice a week in telesales. So daily leads or twice a week, one or the other, or both. But they've got it. They understand that you have to buy leads at this point. They're getting to things, they're going to all the calls, they're going to Sean's call on Friday. You guys are showing up to your team calls. That's the person who's doing that kind of money.
What's their mindset?
Their mindset, like I said, depending on the person, but they're kind of locked in, and they're locked into their schedule for sure. It's important to their family too, right? Now they're determined, and they can get their families on board at this point.
Mm.
That's a hard thing too. Their schedule is way more than you think. Just to start, right? Their schedule at 30,000 is they are working weekends. When I sucked at what I did, so I had to work on Sundays, guys. I had to. I was working, and I still sometimes do. Not because I suck, because I want to make more, right? But Saturdays are definite. You have to put in full day Saturday. I'm sorry, but you have to, in my opinion. When you're trying to make 30 to 40,000, you have to. What's a full day? I would say at least 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday.
Mm. You I'm hearing you say this. It's about consistency. See, these to do any of these numbers, 1 month doesn't define who you are. Okay. You got it. When you do these numbers month after month after month, that's when that $30,000 producer becomes locked in. I know many people who've done 30,000 in the following month, they did 16. You know what I
I've done
mean?
that.
Like I like now talk to us about that. Why does that happen? And
Because your
what are the
mindset,
dangers
you
of
you
that?
get
How like
comfortable.
what? Okay.
Yeah, you get comfortable and you get complacent. You either back down on your leads maybe, or you take a day or a half a day. I did see a comment in the chat. I want to kind of pop in there because I want Diane. You said no vacation for the next 5 years. Noted. That's actually not true, and I don't want you to think that that's what I meant. But and I say that because I mean I'm only year 3 and I'm sitting at my daughter's house and I just took the morning off to go try cakes. You know what I mean? I just wrote business for 6 weeks in Alaska, traveling from Texas to Alaska in an RV. You can make things work. And we were there for 6 weeks. And then 2 weeks, whatever, 2 weeks, maybe a month later, I come to the East Coast for 2 weeks, right? So you can make things work for you. And just putting that consistent effort in, and then yes, once you start getting better at it, you can kind of back off. But if you do it too soon, that's when you go from a 30 to a 16.
Yeah.
You think, I got this, and then, oh shoot, I don't. Because even if you back off a day, or if you go a week on vacation or something too soon, that's not going to show up for another month or so. Like you'll see that in your numbers the next month. So, and that's hard to watch. It's hard, when we're working at a job, we get the paycheck the next week. That doesn't necessarily happen in our industry, right? Our months look based off of last month. What did our month look now? You know?
Right.
So,
Matt Gleave, to kind of stay on that track, how do you stay uncomfortable after having good weeks, months, better than you ever had? How do you stay uncomfortable when you feel comfortable?
well, because for me, There's always something to work towards. I'm not where I want to be yet. Every affirmation that you guys just said, that's once you hit that and you got it, you make another one. Like goals, same thing. Like if you're not fully badass yet, you haven't hit your affirmation. No, I'm just kidding. But you have to. If you're not where you are, you have to keep making your goals and you have to stay uncomfortable because if you get comfortable, then it just backs down on you. You back off from yourself and you feel it. And you're gonna feel it in everything you do, from your credit card to your bills being paid to your mortgage. Something's gonna make you uncomfortable. You've got to fix it if you're determined.
I have a sales question. And if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat or feel free to chime in. Okay. What should I be working on as it pertains to getting on the phone? There's a lot of things as if I'm a new agent I'm thinking about, right? Like whether it be product, whether it be what carrier to write, whether it be I wonder what they're going to say to me. What should I be focused on and get really good at that is in my control on the phone?
I'm assuming you guys give them a script, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that.
Okay.
Because if
How do you practice that script? How do you get good at not sounding like you're reading that script?
activity, I don't like you guys are here. This is our biggest tool, and we don't have an office. I don't, and I don't know. I'm gonna say this because it's okay to say this. I am going to be the first person whose integrity who doesn't have an office. I'm just telling you. I'm going to. Because everybody else thinks that it can't happen, but I will do it because I'm not going to have a freaking office in El Paso. I'm not. So,
That's not horrible.
so, like, you have to. What was your question again? Because I kind of got off a little bit because that was important for this
How do I
question.
practice that script? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, how do
unmute
I?
yourself on here, guys. Like, literally, we are here to help you. I don't care if your script's different than mine. Every script that we have, if I have my script right here, I've been doing this for 3 years and I still go by my script. Still. And I
If you
travel
guys
it with
had to
me.
guess, if you guys had to guess after hearing her numbers, how much you sell last month?
63.
Oh, that's it. What did you do the
Yeah.
month before?
Um, it was over 50. I'm always over 50.
All right. And then didn't you have 100 grand a month or something close?
Well, it was a time frame. Yes, it was while I was in Alaska. I wrote $117,000.
Oh.
So some of that still hasn't come in, and that's part of the snowball, right? That money has to come in. A lot of it was annuities too.
All right. Big stuff. Who has
So
questions here?
your script you have to get comfortable with. I don't care about. I tell my agents I don't care about the products. The products can change in a hot second. You can study products all you want, and it could change. You're studying for no reason. That's what our team is here for. And if you are unmuted, Kay's perfect. She unmutes all the time. I love it. Like literally, we are here to help you. Somebody on this team will help you to figure out what product to write. That's the least of your worries. You got to keep them on the phone. You got to make sure they need life insurance. And you've got to then be open and ready for us to give you the answers and then be able to close the policy. And that's all in your script.
Huge. I love it. Who has some questions here? Or if you got anything, Heather, you want to share with us, but I'm sure there's some questions on here.
Yes, Trevor said is the best way to get uncomfortable with the underwriting process, financial inventory is by doing reps with clients. Yes. And I'm going to use some terminology I say with my team that you're really bad at it right now, or you, shall I say, suck at it. You have to suck 100 times before you get good at it. What does that mean? You have to fail 100 times. You have to sound so bad on the phone 100 times that by the 100th time, you pretty much got it. So if you don't put in the activity because you're afraid to sound bad, or you don't want to unmute because you don't want people to judge you, I'm going to be honest with you and say we actually judge you when you don't.
Huh.
Like
Damn.
people who people who don't have their camera on, people who don't unmute, I'm not going to really care to talk to you ever, right? Kaylee, hot dang, if I see her in a meeting, I'm going to be the first person to go up to her. And I say that because she unmutes the most. I'm looking at some names here. A lot of you
We
are
met
probably
in
new.
at Ignite anyway.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. And
Yeah,
I was so excited to meet you,
yeah.
right?
Heather, I got a quick question. Did you ever hit any walls in your business? And if you did so, to continue to grow, what were the type of things that you did? I know that you did activity, but like, was it just saying affirmations, buying more leads, and can keep pushing to break through whatever wall that was, whether it was from 20 to 30, 30 to 40? What did you do personally?
There's always walls for us. There's always, even at 50,000, 60,000, there's
Huh.
always a wall. It's just a different, if it's just a different wall, right?
Mhm.
And so um I would say my first one was 15,000. That was my first one. And if I remember correctly, I was struggling then, and I had an upline who no longer is with us. He had issues with his family. He had to leave. I remember he had me on, he did like a 15-minute call, and I remember he was on his way to an airport because I felt like really thankful he took that time for me, right? And all he did was ask me to keep track, which is where my uh dial tracker came from. He asked me to keep track for 5 weeks prior to our phone call. Now I had never kept track at all. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? And so by the time I got on the phone with Paul, he was like, so what are your numbers? And I was like, I didn't really know what numbers to look for either. Remember, I didn't have any guidance at that time. There was no telesales. So I had told him, and he was like, oh, those are pretty good numbers. Um, but then he said he asked me how much I was spending on my leads. And I kind of fibbed a little bit because I didn't really know the answer. So I was like, I don't know, 250 a week. And he was like, double that up. And then what did I do? I had to listen to him, right? Because I had to do something. I was stuck. So I had to listen and actually implement. And I would say if you talk to people, which is if you get to these events, if you go to you start to get to know who to talk to. Don't talk to people who don't make money, guys. You're going to get that response. And then a common theme that I didn't understand at first was ask the proper questions. And I was like, well, how do I know what a proper question was? You just got to listen. You got to listen to other people and ask questions that come up in your head in relationship to that. So, Zach, I think the answer is there's going to be different levels where you're stuck, and you have to listen and then implement what you learn.
Thank you.
Of course.
Heather, I have a question. What do you do, or even Dom, you can answer, even Bryce, what do you do mentally as far as keeping yourself um, positive mental attitude? Like, for example, every year I read How to Influence and Influence People. I read it every year, and among other books. So, are there any books or things you do just outside of this to just to keep yourself mentally sharp or to improve your mental clarity?
I do. I actually still listen to trainings every morning. When I say trainings, I'll listen to, I have two themes. One day, like on Mondays, I'll listen to something business related on YouTube. So probably Sean at this point. In the beginning, I listened to a whole bunch of people, right? So it's business related. And I'll do that while I'm at the gym. I'll do that while I'm taking a walk. I'll do it while I'm taking a shower. I'll do it all the time. I listen all the time. The second day, my second thing is I always listen to faith-based YouTube things. And a lot of times I can throw names out here. Mark Mead, Paul McLean, those are my favorite faith-based um, trainings, I call them. And I only do it about half an hour. I also journal. I have an app on my phone. I also have I use my phone a lot, but I have the Holy Bibli. I call it the Holy Bibli app. It's on my
Yeah.
phone. I listen to that. I read that every single morning before I do anything. I don't check my emails. I don't do anything. I open up my Holy Bibli. I read the thing of the day, and then I say a prayer. I also will thank God for what I don't have yet. What I want, I'll thank him for having it be here. And that's actually true because that's what I did for my daughter's wedding. It's like, thank you, God, for allowing me to pay for my daughter's wedding. And now look, I can. Guys, I don't know if you can understand how huge it was to be sitting, and this just happened. So you guys are catching this. Like, I haven't even had time to tell my husband this because he's not here. Sitting at the table trying cakes with a lady at the end, and I'm thinking, okay, even if it's $1,000, Heather, that's only one policy. No big deal. The feeling that you get when you can Zelle somebody 600 and whatever dollars it was, and it being less than you had even thought it was going to be, you better be dang like right. You're dang right to think that I am thankful for the God who gave me this opportunity. Because never ever in my life would I have been able to do that. I would have had to figure it out. I couldn't have done it actually. And there's nothing special about me in any way, shape, or form. Every single one of you in 2 years, if you're brand new, will be like looking back and saying, whatever your goals are, think of it and be thankful for it right now because it's going to be there in 2 years. 1 year even, depending on how much activity you put in, right? So that's what I would say, Derek, is just be thankful, say it out loud, believe in God or not, don't care. Thank him if you do. And be always stay positive. And sometimes the mentality is hard, Derek, right? It's hard to stay positive when you've had 59 appointments that were no sales. You start doubting yourself. You start thinking something's wrong with you. And then you put that activity in because you didn't hit your goals that day. And that last flipping sale changed the entire next week, next month, your whole trajectory. It changed. So you just can't give up on that. And the people who quit are the ones that never get that, right? That's what Trey says about me all the time. Heather, you just never quit. Because I didn't.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you, Heather.
of course. Joshua has a good question. He said, so when you earn more, you realize how affordable things are. I don't know if you guys noticed, I said it was less than a policy. Because at some point soon, and it's pretty soon, I'm thinking it's like maybe 9 months to a year after I started doing this, I started relating everything to a policy.
Mm.
Your car is only 30 policies, 40 policies, whatever. Maybe you have an expensive car. I don't. Like, dude, you can write 30 policies. And if you haven't written one yet, you're like, well, that's hard. I haven't gotten one yet. But when you do, it's so easy to write another.
You just that right there early on, I'm blessed that from day one, Sean always communicated everything in policies.
Yeah.
He went through all my bills and everything. He goes, yo, how much is your rent? I was like $850, but I split it. He goes, all right, cool. That's like one policy. Cool. All right. And if you get an office, how much is that going to be? I was like $1,500 a month. He goes, cool, 3 policies. Okay. And then you do this, and then how much is that going to be? He goes, okay, cool. You need 8 policies to cover your expenses. Anything else after that, that's your money. So it wasn't even how much things were. It was, oh God, okay, those are how many policies I need to write to do what I need to do. My kids, I was in the field, dude, they knew how much, dude, how many policies is that?
That's what my
Hey,
kids do too.
That's only like one policy, you know? Like, dude, you can't just write
And
one more.
that's so helpful to them because then they're like, okay, mom's not working. So
Tell your kids.
we respect
Yes.
your time, you know?
Tell your kids how much you get paid per one. They will hold you accountable. They'll be like, Daddy, how much is that? I'll be like, oh, it's like, 500. Oh, dude, that's not even a whole policy, Dad. God, like you could definitely do that, right? I'm like, shit, dude. Like, I like the way they're growing up. Makes sense? Because they're not seeing things for how much, they're seeing for how hard you have to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how much, it's how hard do I work. That was a great question, Joshua, because you do realize how
Yeah,
much it matter, dude.
that came to my mind immediately. And the other thing that I didn't hear here, but I really loved is that I was listening to someone speak online and it said, you know, poor people say what they can't afford, and rich people ask how they can afford it. And so just saying if you want to be wealthy and successful, then just asking yourself, well, what do I have to do? How can I meet that goal? And so that's why I've been writing down all my goals and checking every one of them off.
Did you guys see that when Dean was on last week? His poster behind him.
About
Anybody
the
read that?
planes, right?
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah, we're trying to buy the plane.
Yeah, he goes, y'all trying to fly first class, we trying to buy the plane.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hot diggity dog. Ain't no wonder why this fool rolls around in money like DuckTales. Does that make sense? Like there's no confusion. People are like, oh, that stuff's corny. I hate those cliches. I'm like, okay, I'll be corny and cliche and all the way to Morgan Stanley. Does that make sense? Like it is all good. But you gotta be willing to say, hey, dude, I'm gonna change.
I
I'm
do
gonna,
challenge you all. Every single item that you want to do, maybe it's just paying off your bills, but write it down right after this call in policies. And that's your starting goal. Like that's what you need to get to. Maybe you do my bills, fun times with the kids, and then my dream house, my dream vacation. Write it in policies. Just break it down and put it in front of you because that's your goal. That's the number that you're looking for. Yeah, a policy, an average policy. And that's another little trick I didn't learn till later on, guys. But an average policy is $1,000 until you get really good at it. And then when you get better at it, it's like 2,500 is your actual like I didn't know that. That was a
yo,
little secret I just
Heather,
learned.
I laugh when you say that because it's one of those things that you just fall into and you're like,
Yes.
holy shit, I'm working the same amount and I'm making twice as much. And I'm not in the 80 no more. I'm at a 120. I don't
It's
think you guys
crazy.
understand the power of your comp and the power of your skill level.
Right.
If you think you're happy now, like, oh my God, I netted, wait until you'll be like, holy smokes, dude, my average premium is people are like, Dom, you write big policies. I'm like, dude, I used to write $32 a month policies
Yes.
all day long. But I had to change the way I saw myself. The value you see in yourself is way higher than the value Heather saw in herself 2 years ago.
Hmm.
You thought that you were privileged to have them. Now, there ain't no part of you that's privileged to have them. They are privileged to have you. And that changes the whole dynamic. So anything in closing or one more question anybody got here?
I got a question.
Killed it.
Just
Thank you.
speaking on what you guys were just talking about, because I struggle with that. How do you build that belief in yourself and like that value, like we'll be talking about? Because I was on the phone at the beginning of the call, and the customer was like, "You're lucky that I answered the phone," or something like that, or like,
Your
yeah,
answer to them is actually, sir, you're lucky that you answered the phone because you just found the best person to talk to. I will help you to the best ability of any agent out there. And say that in your affirmations. I am the best agent out there. I can help my clients the best. My customers are waiting for me to call them.
okay,
And if somebody ever treats you differently, Kaylee, they're not your client. Get rid of them. They're not, you're worth way more than what somebody who's gonna dog on you. Just remember that.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah, my question there is, if they're going to be kind of disrespectful on the phone, do they even want a policy at all?
Do you
My
want to waste your time?
Yeah, exactly. I feel that's what it feels like just hearing the attitude of the
I
You
person.
had
know what, but Doc,
I had an agent say to me, "Yeah, but everybody needs life insurance." I said, "Yeah, but not everybody deserves you." So if they don't, I don't want to waste my time on, and it's a hard line because you're like, well, if I hang up on them and then they die, well, they treated you that way.
and
Like, would
Josh,
you
it's all
actually
about
let somebody do that?
and it's all about how you respond.
Yeah.
I've
You
had a lot
can
of
gain their respect back.
I've had a lot of rude people that I've made a lot of good money with. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah,
But you have to respond accordingly.
You have to be the boss.
Correct.
You're the doctor. You've heard this before. I know you have. You
Yeah.
set the tone. You ask the questions. You run the call. You stick to your script. You're going to do that, even if they try to ruffle your feathers. So remember, we all hate salespeople. We all do. That's why we don't answer the call when they call.
yeah,
You're not a salesperson. They need you.
yeah. Just look at yourself not a salesperson, but an insurance professional. More along that line.
Back I look forward to these normally. Most will become your clients. Yeah. Some of the toughest people, they just want to test you. You know, the clients, they just test you out. So anything else for Heather? We're coming up on the hour. I really appreciate you.
I
Okay.
had fun. Thank you.
This recording, we're gonna get out. It'll be on the YouTube channel. Okay. I know it's gonna be a big, big playback, and I'm excited to see each and every one of you here at Ignite. Okay. I
Yes.
know I'll see you there. All right. I
We're
feel like
having a lock-in too. You guys should know that. There's going to be a lock-in 2 days after Sean's event. Then there's a 2 day lock-in. You guys should register for it.
real
It's
quick,
free. What's a lock-in?
What's the lock-in? Yeah.
It's you get to spend time with me. No, just kidding. Um, no, it's when I mean literally I just got done Boston lock-in. You're around top producers, you're around new if you've never sold a policy, you typically will. You get better, you get to see training, the carriers are there. It's good to be around the carriers. It's going to be a huge lock-in, and it's 2 days after, or it's a day after Ignite, so it's no 2 days after. Sorry,
And it's
Sean's
free.
thing is in between, and it's free.
It's free. They pay for the Airbnb, you get food, and you get trained to get around people. You just got to get there. So we'll get a list out of all the lock-ins that are coming up. All right. Hopefully I'll see you there, but definitely Ignite. Let's make sure we're all there. And if you're going to have some troubles getting there or you got to figure out what you got going on, let's talk. All right. Because like Heather said, those are the places that you make big decisions. You don't make it at your house in your home office. You make it surrounded by a bunch of hungry, crazy asses that are looking to
Mhm.
make something happen. That's when it happens. Make sense? And I want you guys in those environments so that you don't rob yourself of that decision. All right. So thank you, Heather, for being on again.
Of
Thank you,
course,
everybody, for being on here, man. This is big. I think there's like 45 folks up in here. Heather, you're a star. Okay. So this is good. All right.
just a
Let's get
normal gal, just a normal gal, guys.
let's rock.
I'll
Great
see you in
job,
the other
guys.
room.